Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, General Hospital Diaries. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Lucas and Marco caught up at the Metro Court bar. Lucas was sure he'd never see Marco again, so he was surprised to find him in Port Charles. Marco explained that he was in town for a job interview with Diane and had seen Lucas' photo on Alexa's desk. The idea that Marco might move to Port Charles intrigued Lucas. Lucas then decided it was time to clear the air about what happened in Miami. That night, it wasn't really me. I don't usually drink like that or meet strangers at bars. Random encounters aren't my thing, Lucas admitted. Marco agreed, saying he felt the same way. When Lucas confessed that he wasn't looking for anything serious at the moment, Marco clarified that he had only reached out because he saw Lucas' picture and remembered how much he'd enjoyed their time together in Florida. "I just thought maybe we could get to know each other better," Marco said sincerely. So that's exactly what they started to do. Lucas shared his reasons for becoming a doctor, while Marco talked about his work at a law firm in Manhattan. Eventually, Marco had to leave for a meeting, but they both agreed to see each other again. Moments after Marco walked out, Carly arrived like clockwork, eager for the details. Lucas quickly deflected and turned the topic to Carly's love life, noting she hadn't come home the previous night. Carly wasn't thrilled to hear that Jason had stopped by Lucas' workplace to ask about her. "I'm so tired of everyone butting in. It's not going to change how I feel about Jack, so please don't start," Carly said, exasperated. Later, when Jack told Carly that his conversation with Sunny had nothing to do with her, Carly admitted she didn't believe him. She also doubted that Sunny hadn't warned Jack to stay away. "Why are you so convinced Sunny threatened me?" Jack asked. "Because I've seen him do it before," Carly replied, calm and certain. "To be fair, Sunny never even mentioned your name." "I swear," Jack said. But Carly remained skeptical. He continued, "There are some things I just can't talk to you about. If our worlds collide in a way that touches my work, for your safety, I can't always be honest. Can you live with that?" Carly thought it over and said yes, then pulled Jack into a very public kiss. At a local coffee shop, Jocelyn walked in and was surprised to see Vaughn chatting with a young woman who, at first, just seemed to want the sugar from his table. Vaughn asked Joss to join him. Joss pointed out that the woman was clearly flirting, but Vaughn didn't buy it. Curious why Joss was there, Vaughn listened as she explained that she had the date off and recognized the coffee shop's logo from his cups. She figured the coffee had to be worth a try. As they chatted, they discovered a shared love of volleyball. When Vaughn went to grab some croissants, Jocelyn noticed him drop them. She also saw the woman slip him a small notepad as she helped him pick them up. Later, back at the training center, Joss tried to ask Vaughn about it, but Jack interrupted them. Vaughn told Jack that Joss was ready to graduate and that he was eager to return to the field. "After what happened in Romania, it's not that simple," Jack said, instantly raising Jocelyn's suspicions. Before Vaughn left, she told Jack what she had seen at the coffee shop. Over at Windermere, Sidwell warned Natalia not to give him orders again, right before a knock came at the door. When Sidwell opened it, Sonny Corinthos stood on the other side. "Mr. Sidwell, I think it's time we had a talk," Sonny said, stepping inside, while Natalia quietly made herself scarce. Sonny was intrigued to hear that Sidwell had recently struck a deal with deception. He said he'd get the details from Lucy, but admitted he was really there to talk about the fire at his penthouse. "That happened around the time you arrived in Port Charles," Sonny noted. At first, Sonny hadn't suspected Sidwell, but new information had changed that. After Jack told him that Solitsky had done some work in Africa, Sonny thought of Sidwell. That's why he showed up at Spoon Island. Sidwell shrugged, saying Africa was a vast place, and the timing was probably just a coincidence. "I'm a cautious man. I don't trust coincidences," Sonny replied. Sidwell assured Sunny he wasn't trying to push him out. In fact, it was quite the opposite. He admired the way Sunny ran things, staying just on the right side of the law. Your presence is essential to the balance I need. I don't see you as competition. I see you as someone who keeps the game steady so my business can grow, Sidwell explained. Sidwell even offered to help Sunny find the person responsible for the fire. So I understand what you're going through, Sidwell said with genuine sympathy. Sunny politely declined the offer and turned to leave. After he walked out, Natalia returned to the living room. Natalia warned Sidwell that making an enemy of Sunny wouldn't end well. While she claimed that she and Sunny were just friends, Sidwell chuckled in disbelief. He clearly didn't buy it. A knock on the door interrupted them. When Sidwell opened it, Marco stepped in. "Sorry I'm late, Dad," he said. His eyes widened as he spotted Natalia. "Mom, what are you doing here?" Marco asked, just as stunned as she was. In the Q solarium, Sasha reassured Jason that the baby was doing well. Still, she wanted to clarify Jason's legal role in the baby's life. She explained that Felicia had brought up whether Jason's name would be on the birth certificate, which made Sasha reconsider what Jason's true intentions were. Jason calmly responded that he was fine with everything Felicia had mentioned, having his name on the certificate and sharing his medical records. Sasha reminded him that doing so could be considered dishonest, but Jason brushed it off. "I've dealt with tougher situations," he said dryly. Trying to ease Sasha's anxiety, Jason told her to focus on the present and not stress over future hurdles. Still, Sasha couldn't shake her nerves, especially fearing Willow might uncover the truth and use it in a custody dispute. Jason stayed composed while Sasha was visibly distressed. "I want to give my baby the best life possible, but how can I do that when it all starts with a lie?" Sasha asked. Jason encouraged her to take it step by step until Michael recovered. "He's making progress. You just have to hang in there a little longer," he reminded her. When the baby kicked, Sasha pulled Jason's hands over to feel her belly. Lightening the mood, she teasingly called him Dad. Over in Curtis' office, Kay dropped by for advice. "Congressman Kane offered me an incredible opportunity," he shared. Curtis was instantly on alert and asked what Drew wanted in return. Kai explained that Drew had told him about a promising new spinal procedure. "It's cutting edge. He gave me info on a doctor who's had success with athletes," Kay said. Curtis wasn't surprised that Drew had the means to make it happen. He acknowledged Drew had both the resources and the influence. Kai seemed hopeful. "This could actually give me a shot at playing football again," he said. Still, he wasn't completely sure and asked Curtis for his thoughts. Curtis revealed he'd undergone an experimental procedure himself. "I trusted my wife because she's a brilliant doctor. Drew, however, isn't. So my advice, get it thoroughly checked out before getting your hopes up," Curtis cautioned. Drew later stormed into Portia's office, visibly upset. "We had an agreement," he said. Portia, caught off guard, replied that she'd fulfilled her part by appearing at the press conference. That didn't satisfy Drew. "Curtis went and ruined everything by calling me Congressman Kane in every Aurora media segment," Drew complained. Drew didn't hold back his frustration. "Get Curtis under control, or your picture-perfect life won't stay that way," he warned. "I didn't know what you were planning with Aurora Media," Portia explained, but Drew insisted that it wasn't her role to know. It was her role to manage it. Portia cautioned Drew that Curtis was sharp and would sense something was off. Drew made it clear she needed to prevent that. As he walked out, Brad appeared at the door. Drew turned and said, "She's all yours." Brad was stunned that Drew had gotten a hold of the lab results. A moment of realization struck him. It must have been his Aunt Selena who passed them on. "So not only did you keep that information, but you gave it to your aunt with questionable ties." "Wow, Brad, that's impressive," Portia said, her tone sharp. Still, Portia was willing to fix things. She told Brad they had just one thing left to discuss, his severance package. Brad quickly begged to keep his job, apologizing repeatedly. But before he could say much more, Kai arrived. Portia asked Brad to step out so she could speak with Kai about the medical procedure. Portia admitted this wasn't her area of expertise, but promised to do some research and offer her opinion. When she learned the idea had come from Drew, she was clearly unsettled and asked Kai if he had discussed this with his parents. Once Kai left, Brad returned. Portia ultimately allowed him to keep his job, but only because I might need your help in the future, she said. After speaking with Kai, Curtis called Drew to his office to have a direct conversation. Here you are again, coming in like a hero, offering Kai false hope, Curtis said. Drew responded that Curtis should want Kai to have a chance. He admitted it wasn't a guaranteed outcome, but Kai understood the risk. I suppose the whole generous benefactor routine will vanish, Curtis retorted. At the Metro Court, Trina met with Assistant District Attorney Turner, who had questions about what occurred with Emma at the Q Crypt. Trina was surprised to learn about Emma's prior run-ins with the law. With all due respect, why is a New York A-Day so focused on something that happened across the country? Trina asked. Turner shared that she believed Anna might be protecting Emma due to their connection, and she felt that deserved a deeper look. Trina held her ground. Sounds like your issue is with Anna Devane, not Emma. I have no ties to Anna, so I'm not the person you need, Trina said before walking away. Turner then had a sit-down with Sonny. She told him she was impressed that he always seemed to come out ahead, even after multiple legal challenges. You've even built connections with both the mayor and the police commissioner, she noted. Sonny smiled and replied, What can I say? People tend to like me. Today on General Hospital, Laura officially opens the new cardiac care center. The hospital staff celebrates its long legacy, and Lucy makes a heartfelt proposal to Sidwell. Laura stands on the landing above the nurse's station as Sonny arrives beside her. She tells him he always shows up when it matters most. They walk down to the main floor together, chatting about the unveiling of the cutting-edge cardiac center. Tracy rushes off the elevator to report that Monica isn't feeling well enough to attend the dedication of the center named in her honor. They reflect on everything Monica has done for the hospital, especially her generous support, and Laura adds that she'll always be thankful for Monica's kindness toward her. Elsewhere, Alexis thanks Curtis for encouraging her to attend an AA meeting. She shares that she feels more comfortable at the ones held at the hospital than those closer to home. Curtis heads off to say hello to Laura and lets her know someone from Aurora Media will be attending. She wishes Kevin could be there and asks Curtis how excited Portia is. Portia's looking forward to the center's opening, Curtis says. He also heard there's an anonymous donor involved. Laura speculates the donor may have had a complicated history with Monica, but ultimately respected her. When she says it's better that the donor remains unnamed, Curtis raises concerns about the hospital being connected to them. Laura believes the hospital brings out the best in people, and that's what matters. Meanwhile, Alexis finds Sonny at the memorial wall, reflecting on his blessings. She acknowledges that it's not always easy to see the good, and they admire the new atrium together. Alexis casually mentions that she knows he's the anonymous donor. She saw the paperwork. Sonny admits, Monica may not like me, but I respect her deeply. He leaves, and Laura joins Alexis to talk about the day's events and share the news that Monica can't attend. Laura brings up Lulu's recent run-in with Alexis at the PCPD and tries to express her gratitude for what Alexis did for her family. Alexis gently insists there's nothing to apologize for, but Laura gets emotional, saying she still feels sorrow. Alexis reminds her, Sam didn't pass so Lulu could live. She made a choice to help, and we should remember her courage. They share a heartfelt hug, promising to honor Sam's memory through love and remembrance. Laura later confides in Curtis that she's nervous about giving the speech without Monica present. Curtis reassures her, Aurora will make sure every word reaches Monica. They also reflect on how much the hospital has done for him during his time in a wheelchair. Felicia joins Carly and Donna to visit Bobby's photo. Felicia reminds them it's the hospital's 62nd anniversary. Donna greets her grandma's image, and Carly and Felicia reflect on Bobby's passion for nursing and how much she meant to them. Terry drops by Portia's office, reminding her of the special anniversary. They step out to see the beautiful new center, thank the contractor, and share how inspired they are by Monica. Lucy shows up at Sidwell's office with a stack of posters and just 4 words, General Hospital Nurses Ball. She enthusiastically walks him through the event's history, from its debut in 1994 to the millions raised and the iconic outfits. Cue the flashbacks. Then she gives a heartfelt speech about the cause. Sidwell pauses to ask, "What is the cause exactly?" Lucy is thrilled he asked. The Nurses' Ball was created to support HIV/AIDS awareness and care. She acknowledges the issue might seem less visible now, but it's still a serious global concern. She shares memories of Stone, Robin, and her late friend and co-chair many loved ones to the disease, which is why she continues the work. With emotion in her voice, she urges Sidwell to help shift public perception, and he agrees with one condition: he'll sponsor the entire Nurses' Ball. Anna is in a hospital room donating blood while talking to Robin on the phone about the new center. Mac arrives to take her home. Meanwhile, Maxie is in the hospital office with Deanna and Amy, handing out thank you gift bags for the nurses. They're touched and offer to help distribute them. At the nurses' station, Amy opens one and admires the deception goodies. Maxie says the nurses deserve it all. Felicia compliments Maxie's thoughtful gift, and Stella arrives just in time to receive her own gift bag too. We then see a montage of memorial photos on the wall, as Tracy gazes at them warmly. Stella finds her there, saying she figured she'd be nearby today. Tracy admits she finds peace there. Those who've passed can't argue with her after all. She regrets that Monica can't be there, acknowledging how vital Monica has been to the hospital's history. Ned joins Tracy at the wall, and she reminisces about their father pitting her against Alan, who ultimately betrayed the family legacy by becoming a doctor. She admits she envied Alan's courage to follow his dreams, including marrying Monica, which connected them all to General Hospital in such meaningful ways. In the chapel, Sonny finds Carly and Donna. Donna runs off to say a quiet prayer for Michael. Carly reflects on the years spent at the hospital, not just the hard times, but also moments of joy and healing, especially the teen that saved Michael's life. Sonny believes Michael will pull through. Carly insists it's thanks to them, and mostly her. Out in the atrium, Laura shares with Portia and Terry that Monica won't be able to join them, so they'll begin without her. Anna finds Sonny outside on the patio and tells him she spoke to Robin. They talk about Stone and how frightening it was when Robin first learned she was HIV positive. Sonny remembers Robin's strength and beauty. Anna admits she wasn't around then, but she's grateful Robin had people like Sonny. She kisses him on the cheek and whispers, "Thank you," before heading back inside. Sonny follows as Terry and Portia unveil the Dr. Monica Quartermain Cardiac Care Center. They each share kind words about Monica's legacy and how much she has inspired them. Then Laura delivers a touching speech honoring both Monica and the hospital's 62nd anniversary. "I believe that General Hospital represents us at our best." The new sign is revealed, complete with a photo of Monica, and everyone gathers to admire it. Just then, Lucy bursts in, Sidwell in tow, and proudly announces that he's agreed to fully sponsor the upcoming Nurses' Ball. Everyone looks a bit stunned, but gives her a supportive round of applause, while Lucy beams with joy. Anna receives unsettling news about Emma. Lucky steps in to help Christina cover something up, and Alexis strongly disagrees with Drew's latest choice. Paramedics arrive at the scene of Rick's serious car crash and begin rescue efforts, calling for special equipment to get him out of the wreck. Meanwhile, Christina notices police racing by and worries it could involve Ava. Curious and concerned, she turns around to follow them. Christina arrives at the accident and sees emergency responders at work. She spots Rick inside the car. He's unconscious with a head injury. Rick is carefully removed and placed on a stretcher while responders tend to Liz, who appears unresponsive. Lucky arrives and asks Christina what's going on. Still in shock, Christina blurts out, "It was supposed to be Ava." Lucky presses her for answers. Christina reveals she tampered with Ava's brakes, convinced it was her car. Lucky tells her to get back to Charlie's and stick to the story that she was doing inventory all night. Christina rushes off and Elizabeth is brought out. Seeing she's also a victim, Lucky tries to get closer, but a police officer urges him to let the paramedics do their work. Back at Charlie's, Molly runs into Cody and questions his return, given his last visit ended in an arrest. Cody explains Mac invited him. He believes it's a test to see if he can behave responsibly in public. He also wants to apologize to Lucky for a previous altercation. Molly, acknowledging Cody's help with her parents, jokes he's a miracle worker, and perhaps not such a bad guy after all. She gives him her card as a symbolic get-out-of-trouble pass. Mac arrives, sees Cody calm and collected, and is pleased. As Cody explains his connection to Molly and her family's disputes, Christina returns to work. Molly's glad to see her, and Christina claims she's just finished doing inventory. Mac invites Molly to join him and Cody, and Christina tags along, though her mind is clearly elsewhere. The group is interrupted when GF calls Molly with news. Her father's been in an accident, with Cody and Christina insisting on joining. At the hospital, Rick and Elizabeth are rushed in. Isaiah tends to Liz, and Lucas works on Rick. Lucas determines Rick will need immediate surgery and a significant blood transfusion. Molly, Christina, and Cody arrive, and Lucky informs Molly that both Elizabeth and Rick are being treated. Meanwhile, Alexis visits Drew, who's just stepped out of a conversation with Kai. He quickly takes a call from Ezra, who reports issues at the crypt. Drew insists he handle it and hangs up. Back with Alexis, Drew introduces her to Kai, who soon leaves. Alexis assumes this meeting is about Scout's school or Kay's sports initiative. Drew corrects her. It's about Willow, Wiley, and Amelia moving in, which he believes will benefit Scout. Alexis is concerned. She feels Scout is still grieving her mother and shouldn't face more changes right now. Drew insists the move is happening. Alexis hopes he's right and warns him to tread carefully. Christina calls Alexis to tell her about the accident, prompting her to rush to the hospital. Upon arrival, Alexis finds Molly overwhelmed. Not only is information scarce, but returning to the hospital in this context is emotionally triggering. Ava appears, asking about Rick. Alexis quickly escorts her away, telling her that her presence is only adding to her daughter's distress. Isaiah updates Lucky. Elizabeth is stable but has a broken leg that requires surgery. She must regain consciousness before they proceed. Lucas brings Molly and the others up to speed on Rick. He's sustained a serious head injury and is headed to surgery. They're doing all they can. Lucky stays by Liz's side and encourages her to wake up. Her eyes flutter open, and he's visibly relieved. At the Quartermain crypt, Anna places Emma under arrest. The sheriff attempts to arrest Tracy, who warns him off. Yuri stands beside her, and Trina continues live-streaming the scene. Tracy uses Trina's stream to explain the crypt holds her closest family, and for decades, the Quartermains have supported GH. She claims the demolition is politically motivated, driven by Congressman Kane, with help from Councilman Boyle. Trina shares the moment, but Ezra informs them their time is up. Sheriffs arrest Yuri and attempt to remove Tracy. Diane arrives with a cease and desist order. Ezra questions its validity, and Diane confirms it's from Dr. Monica Quartermain. The document holds up, and Diane reveals Monica worked out a deal with the Port Charles Land Trust to save the crypt. Gio and Emma's plan was successful. Tracy tells Ezra to leave her property. Before leaving, Diane tells Tracy Monica wanted her to come to her next time trouble arises. Gio volunteers to accompany Tracy to the station to help with Emma's release. Tracy thanks Trina for her support. Later, Kai visits Trina and tells her the livestream was powerful and courageous. Ezra meets Drew, who hopes the crypt was demolished. Ezra reports the opposite. It's been preserved through a legal agreement. On top of that, Drew must resume using the Kane name. When Drew asks how Tracy pulled it off, Ezra reveals it was Monica's doing. At the station, Anna speaks with Emma. She's struggling to recognize her granddaughter. Emma defends her actions. She's in college, learning who she is, and passionate about fairness. Anna respects her spirit, but says this wasn't her fight. Emma says it wasn't just about protest, it was about family. Her mom told her about being gravely ill as a baby, saved only because Edward Quartermain gave her the last dose of life-saving serum. Alan also stood by her mom through her HIV diagnosis. Emma owes her life to them. Anna acknowledges her regrets about not being there for Robin and better understands Emma's motivations. She still warns that actions have consequences, even when they're for a good cause. Emma may face legal repercussions. Mac arrives with new information and hands Anna a folder. Anna isn't pleased by what she reads. Tracy and Gio arrive, ready to pay Emma's legal fees, but Anna says Emma must spend the night in custody and appear before a judge, due to prior incidents. Emma looks to Gio. In Toronto, Jason and Sunny corner the hitman. Just before they act, the man urges them to check his desk drawer for evidence. As Sonny turns, the man tries to escape. Jason stops him, but the confrontation ends fatally. Sonny tells Jason to collect the man's devices. They might hold crucial information. On the flight home, Sonny says the man's fate was sealed regardless, and his death sends a message to those behind him. Jason's concerned the threat isn't over. Sonny agrees and says they'll find answers in the data Brick recovers. For now, they must remain strong. Jason warns delaying his medical procedure is risky. Sonny says he'll give Brick time, then proceed with surgery. No one will harm his family. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.